All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Stock Analysis Friday. My name is Bennett McDowell, traderscoach.com. Great to have everybody here. All right, just a quick recap on what Stock Analysis Friday is all about. This is a half-an-hour presentation where basically you type in stocks, and please type those in caps, and do about 3 at a time, I guess. And let me know if you're long or short or thinking about taking a trade, and of course, in the direction. And I'll look it up and analyze that using technical analysis. You know, a lot of people will get notices from their brokers on a particular stock of interest. And it may sound good fundamentally, but then when we look it up technically, you may find that you can get it at a better price at a later time. So that's the purpose of bringing stocks here for me to give it a quick overview. All right, so let me go through a few administrational items, and happy May to everybody. Okay, so first thing I have to go over, of course, are the risks involved in trading the financial markets. Please realize that we want you to trade only with money you can afford to risk. Any of my opinions or discussions here or analysis are basically mine. Built on 30 years of trading in the financial markets, but please run those by your financial advisor because they know your personal situation. I don't. So something I think may be great may not be suitable for you. Okay. So it's always really important to run that by. And when I make a suggestion, I may or may not already own the stock. So realize that. So always make that decision based on your personal needs and what you and your financial advisor think is going to happen. All right, and past performance doesn't guarantee future performance. I think we all realize that. So you have to use risk control or have some sort of way of managing your risk. I've got a couple books on that if you need help, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But that's really important, and always trade with money you can afford to risk, called risk capital. And then finally, no guarantees, okay? The market is all about probabilities, so always keep that in mind. All right, now I'm going to put a link up. If you're interested in day trading at all, we recommend day trading the futures markets. That seems to be the best place. It's not easy, okay? It'll be the hardest easy money you'll ever make, but it's an exciting path with unlimited income potential. And even if you don't have much money right now. There's a firm called Apex and it basically is a prop firm. It basically provides the funding for you to actually do your day trading. They have qualifications you have to pass and so forth. But I put a link up there in the comments area if you want to think about getting started. And they give you free data for the major futures markets that are out there that you're going to trade. So it's a lot of fun, and it's a low cost way for you to get your feet in the water, so to speak, and learn how to do this business. All right, let me go on from here. I promised you to show you some books, and here are some books I've written and recommend on money management, and I've got 2 up there. So you can go to Amazon and check out our books. Just type my name in or traderscoach.com, and it will give you our laundry list of books. My new book is The Art of Trading, second from the left, and that came out a few months ago. The reviews are starting to just come in now, and they've been really good. So I'm very pleased with that, because I literally think this is the best book I've written to date. It's a big book and pretty comprehensive. So I think you'll enjoy it, especially if you enjoy the markets. All right, now when we talk about looking at charts, and I told you I was going to analyze anything that you want me to look at, I do it using our software called the ART software, AL, PTF, TLM, and ERI indicators. Those are charting indicators. I have scanners. We're not probably going to use those today. And then I have risk control software as well that tells you the trade size, the risk, and your take profit information and so forth. So that's available. And for the books and for this, you can go to our website at traderscoach.com and check it out, or appliedrealitytrading.com. Or I will put a link for those watching the recording in the bottom of the description. All right. And then finally, give us a like. And I want to jump right into the daily Dow Jones Industrial Average chart. All right, so let me just give you an overview. I always like to start these sessions with a little bit of an overview of the market. And currently, we reached a significant high back early this year. And we've been quite a ways into our target zone. This was our high target zone based on Elliott wave analysis. And this analysis takes into account a lot of history going back to 2009, where we really have begun this tremendous bull market we've been in. So we're due for a significant correction. We got one during COVID, but I don't really count that, because that was like a V-shaped recovery. So that was kind of more like a blip versus a normal structure, but we do take it into account. And we've reached some structure down here. All right, this is the daily chart of the Dow. And most of the indexes are similar. I'll show you those in just a minute. But we reached some structure down here. So we had a nice redistribution down here, and now we bounced off that. One of our indicators, called the PTF down here, is bearish. It has a 75% accuracy rate, so I kind of listened to it. And basically, it's saying one more leg down. Okay, so maybe this low is not the low in place. An interesting statistic on this is that, usually when you get a move, there may be additional liquidity created here and here that they'll take out on the next move down. So we'll see what happens with that. But we had a classic double top and an inverse head and shoulders here. All right, so that was kind of an interesting situation. Shoulder here, head here, kind of shoulder, and then we came back up and went back down. So we'll see on this. It has not declined enough for this to be considered a bear market at this point. We have support that we're watching at 36,611. So I think that's going to be taken out. But this one down here at 32,327, all right, that's a big one. If that one holds, then we may get another high before we get the bear market. Now, my next chart is a weekly chart. And if we go into the bear market, basically, we're looking probably to come down to the COVID low, if not a little bit lower. So that's a 50% decline, okay, off that high. Now, statistically, we've had our first pullback, and it was, I think, 26% or something like that, maybe a little more, and it came pretty quick. Usually in a bear market, the first decline is around 40 to 41%. Then you get a tremendous rebound. And that decline usually occurs, I don't know, in 20 months or something, 21 months. And we haven't had that yet. All right. If we get a bounce from here, we very well could, in a significant bounce, make another high. So what I'm thinking here on the markets is another low, and then let's see how low that goes. And if we stay above that 41% correction on the first leg of a typical bear market, then chances are we could make another high. So stay tuned, keep coming here every week, and we'll do analysis on the markets. If you like this kind of information, I go into great detail in a service we call the More Report, and I'll put that in a link on the recording if you're watching, or you can go to our website and check that out. And you'll see a similar situation for all the indexes, and notice the red indicator at the bottom called the PTF, indicating more lows. Now that can change, but it is right about 75% of the time. So, you know, we may come take this equity out here one more time. We'll see. All right, NASDAQ, same similar situation, a little bit more enthusiasm on the rebound. These charts, by the way, were done last Sunday. So this is structure here for rebalance. So we could head back down next week sometime, but we'll see. All right, we'll certainly see how the market unfolds. All right, on Bitcoin, I'm calling for a buy on Bitcoin. We hit the buy territory here, and it is continuing to move up. So this would be a buy area. This is our next sell area. And I think the sell area may even get extended a little bit. We'll do a little bit more analysis on that. But I'm looking for 114 to 137 on the next high leg. And we'll see how high some of our indicators indicate, but that looks to us to be like an Elliott wave 5 up here. So at that particular point, this would be a 3, 4. At that particular point, that would be a major sell, okay, at that point. So not too late to accumulate it. I'm showing 97,770 on Bitcoin right now. And when this chart was done, it was at 94,374. So you still got enough room to that profit target zone to make a purchase, a sense of a purchase, okay? So I'm bullish on Bitcoin, and that's going to extend even if you don't like to trade the actual coin itself. You can always choose the ETF, GBTC, okay? A lot of people structure this in their IRAs and their portfolios, but this is also a buy at this time. All right, I think that's what I kind of wanted to go over with you. So let me minimize this. And now I'm ready to tackle anything you want me to look at here. So let me go back up into the comments area and see who's first. And if I miss anything, please let me know. All right. Good morning, Stu. Good morning, Al. Gene. All right. Let's see what we got cooking here. All right. So SEPN. SEPN. Let's see what's cooking on that bad boy. And this is for Al. All right, Al, not a lot of history on this baby. All right. So hard to get an Elliott wave take on that, right? Let me just make sure I got everything configured correctly. Yep, we're looking good. All right, I agree. Breakout showing here. It's hard without a lot of history in the weekly chart to tell you exactly where this is going. But I can certainly look at the daily chart. We had a huge owl here to the downside, and it's being labeled as a wave 3. So we'll take a look at the bottom. I guess that's this area here. So if that's in a wave 3, then we have to kind of look at this as a possible correction. But it still yields a good return. So if this is a 3, then this would be a wave 4 target zone. And then after this, we should see a sell-off if that is correct. So for right now, and we have bullishness here. So you're talking a target zone between 1372 all the way up to 1964. All right. So we're at 743. That's a double your money just about, right? So I'm agreeing with you. The only thing I don't like about this is the lack of history. Takes a little bit of the probability out of the equation on our side to be more right on something like this with not as much history, but I like it, okay? Let me just see if the 60-minute chart, you can see kind of a consolidation, but breaking out. So yeah, I'm going to put that on the buy list. Okay, good job. All right. And you are already in it in our yummy room. We have a room called the yummy room. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Janice, good to see you. Lowell, good to see you. And as Gene says, type in your stocks 3 at a time. And Al is back with a few more. All right, so let's see what you got. QG here. And considering a long, I think, long question mark. Did I type that incorrect? I'm not getting a load yet. Let's give it a second. Sometimes new stocks take a minute to catch. Not seeing that one. Okay, let's try EHC. That one's loading. Okay, so let's see. I'm not sure about QG. Check that one, okay? Check the symbol in that one. All right, so let's see what we got cooking here. And all right, so I don't think I would go long here. I think you're too late. All right, if you notice on the weekly chart on the far right here, we've got some bearish divergence building. We've got a pretty strong owl there. So it does look like maybe more upside short term. Trying to figure out how high that would go. See if we can take a look at this one here. I'll open that one up and see what we got. So I think this is a wave 3. The problem is, you know, I like to get in here or even here, better yet, but that would have made more sense up here because it would have broken out of that longer term channel, right? So I kind of think you're chasing the market here, all right? And I don't like to do that. So I'm not going to recommend that one, okay? Pullback, yes. I mean, we got a gap here, so maybe we'll fill that gap at some point. But at this particular point, I think you're chasing it, okay? All right, let's take a look at your next one, LUMN. All right. So on this one here, green PTF, I like that. We've had a nice redistribution. We got a fair value gap low here. We basically came into that. Let me just open up the weekly chart a little bit here. And we'll take a look at here. So here is our fair value gap here. All right, we got a little one here. Got a bearish one there. So usually we come down into these or at least close. So we're kind of there now. If you go in long now, you got to put your stop under here. This is a penny stock almost. It's $3.69. So you kind of got to be careful on this. We haven't had enough of a turnaround to indicate that this is out of a downtrend. And if you basically just draw a trend line there or even one here from the top and connect there, you're kind of right at that trend line now. All right, so ideally what I'd like you to do is wait till it gets to the fair value gap here and bounces off here. So something like this and rejection to the upside like that. All right, so that's what I'd like to see ideally. Let's see if the short-term charts, yeah, that's pretty bullish. Not getting anything on the 60. I'm going to kill that 60-minute chart and open up this one much wider. All right, so green PTF, that's a good sign. But even on the daily chart, you can still see there's technically an active short trade based off our software on the pyramids here. So the exit for the short trade is going to be at the top of this pyramid. So we're close. I want to wait for this to turn green, and I want to see a pull up, pull back, and then another change in structure. Okay, we don't have a change in structure yet. So I would put this for sure on a watch list because this one could be good, but it's not right now. I don't think. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, Lowell, how are you? Let's take a look at Kruger here. Maybe what I'll do is slide this chart over here and then slide this one. Kind of like that, if I can do that. Okay, there. All right, so we looked at this previously. You can see my line still left on it. So I'm not sure if you're long or you're thinking of going long. I don't think I would go long here, okay? There is a little bit more upside. It's not quite done yet. But what are you trying to do? Are you trying to get 5 points, or are you trying to get a new significant trend? It's too late for a new significant trend. You may get a few points, but you'd have to drop it down to a very short time frame to basically structure that trade. So that's kind of where I'd leave it right now. I do think it's got more upside. I mean, you got a very strong owl still here. So I think probably, you know, our target is we're in the target already, but it could go as high as 83. And that's, you know, that's not too bad. That's a 10 or 15%. I'm not going to recommend it because I kind of, it's a little bit like Russian roulette trying to figure out where this thing is going. Okay. Where it's actually going to stop. So that's the only problem with that. Let me see if there's any previous structure. I don't think there really is. So I'm not going to recommend this, but there is some more upside to it. Okay. Now, Tesla is the one I am looking at. Okay. I do like Tesla. All right. It came down to a structured area on the daily chart. We had some structure here. We bounced off that. I think it's been overdone due to news events. And I won't go into that, but you know what I mean. All right. And we have a green PTF here. We took out this pyramid here. So that would indicate bearishness now is subsiding. And we did have a move up off the bottom here with the green PTF. So I think at this particular point, this could be a very nice early entry. And so I'm going to put Tesla down as a buy. All right. Now, if you are concerned about where to put your stop, I would probably put it under this point here. Okay. So that should survive any volatility while it works its way on up. But I think it's probably going to go here pretty quick. So there you have it. Okay. So Tesla's a buy. My target is above 500. And just to draw some fib extensions in here, maybe something, you know, in the 500 range, maybe 450, 500. I don't think you can actually use the fib so much anymore on this because it retraced a little bit lower than it should have for a normal retracement. So kind of that's, you know, where we're at with that. But I think, again, this was overdone and now we're probably moving off. And boy, I'm glad you picked NVIDIA too. NVIDIA is also on my buy list. All right. This had a nice, healthy correction. It is one of the premier AI stocks. So if you want to participate in AI, but not mess around with some small cap stocks in that field, this would be the one to go into. So NVIDIA is a leader. And I think we've got a wave 3 here. 4 here and 5 up here. So my target on the next swing up is between 170 and 224. And, you know, when I look at NVIDIA, I look at Tesla. Yeah, they've been beaten down, but beaten down properly for the most part, especially NVIDIA. Tesla was a little overdone. But, you know, they're due, you know, in terms of Elliott wave, I mean, it's pretty clear. I mean, if I open up the NVIDIA weekly chart, you can certainly see a wave 3. I mean, there's no mistaking that, right? So what happens after wave 3? Well, you have wave 4, ABC correction. And then after that, you have another leg up, not as powerful as wave 3, but it breaks the wave 3 high. So when I look at that and I hear people talking about bear markets, I have to take a step back because why would this be making another high if we're in a bear market? So I don't think we're there yet. I think it's very possible when this reaches a high and all these major NASDAQ stocks reach another high, that could be a serious top in the market. And like I said, statistically, the Dow and the major markets have not sold off enough on this correction to call it a bear market. Okay. Now, if it sells off more and all this stuff goes south, then that's different. But for right now, I'm thinking no bear market for a while. Okay. All right. So you heard it here first, folks. Right. All right. So that's NVIDIA, and I'm liking it for a buy. So nice job on that. All right. Al is back with HLX. HLX. Okay, let's see what's cooking on HLX here. All right. Short. Okay, I don't think I would short. It's too late. And also, too, if you look at the charts here, we got structure here. Okay, so we went all the way up here, redistributed, redelivered, as they say, down here. So I think it's ready to go. If anything, I'd be looking at this for a long trade, but not yet. It's not ready. It is still kind of messy. I think we're kind of at a bottom, so I think we probably could mess around here. Is it possible it could go to the next level of structure? Sure. But it's more likely we could see a bounce from here. All right, so MTX is your next one. And these are all shorts. And again, if you had asked me this back in April, it would have looked better. Okay, we have pyramids all the way down. But now we've got a yellow here. Looks like we may have a little bit more down here. We may take out liquidity here. Okay. We haven't already. Let me see if we have already. So that low on that price bar is 49.54. And that one is 48.61. So we have not taken out liquidity. So I do think we're going to go lower on this. We may get a little rebound before it goes lower. All right. And just looking at the weekly chart here, we have a fair value gap sitting here. Whoops. Let me just mark that for you. So a fair value gap sitting right about there. We did touch it and it moved back down, but we may go back into it before we move down. So if you wanted to take a short and just make it to the liquidity area, I'd cover there, but you're almost there too. And the risk you take on that is you'd have to put your stop above here. So you'd have to risk a lot to make a little. So I'm not so sure that's such a good idea. Okay. So I would pass on that one. LEXX, another short candidate. No short on that. Too late. Okay. All right. Janice, how are you? Dell. Good old Dell. All right. Let's take a look at Dell. All right. Like the rest of many stocks, it looks like it has done its correction thing, but I don't think it's over. And the only reason I say that is this is still red. Okay. That PTF. Otherwise, I would say it looks really good. Let me just draw in a quick retracement on this leg up here. See, again, I'm going to open this up a little bit. Wave 3. All right, so let's see where the wave 2 could be here to here. So we've got a little bit of correction there just past. That happens 15% of the time, so I'm not concerned really. And it didn't really go into wave 1, so that was good. Tesla went into wave 1, so that was a little bit more dicey. Structure possibly here, okay? So that stopped there, and structure is when you have some type of consolidation like you had here. And then if you go over here, you can see that also held here. So this is, price action. So in this case here, it's done its thing. It's gone down to where it needed to do to redistribute. So probably come up, take this pyramid out, pull back, and then at that point, give us a buy, some type of buy. So Little early to go in, but if you believe in structure, you go in and you want to put your stop under here. The other problem with this here a little bit is I don't think we took out liquidity here. And these markets can be really tricky, okay? They can come close, pop up, draw in new longs, and then go down and take liquidity out again. And I wouldn't put it past them to do that on Dell here. Okay, so and when I'm saying who, I mean institutions and things like that. Okay, so we got a red PTF, and that makes me skeptical. So I'm not going to recommend it, though. If that red PTF was not there, I would recommend it. Okay, so let's keep an eye on that. Let's put that on the watch list. Okay, and your next one, KMB. Let's see what's cooking with that bad boy. Mostly long on these. All right, Janice, you can stay long, okay, since you're long already. All right. Whoop, I forgot LFUS. I'll do that next. So this one is that's a messy market. Got a red PTF, and the low on that PTF is down here. So it looks like there's a 75% probability we could drop and go below that. So that's one you may want to get out of. Okay, don't go in it. If you're thinking about trading it, don't go in it. And LFUS, I don't think I did this one. I think I forgot this one. LFUS, let's take a look at that one. And okay, another red PTF. So this is what they call a dead cat bounce. We're filling in here. Let me just see if there's any structure to give us hope. A little bit of structure here. So that was good, but the red PTF bothers me here. And we technically had a bearish fair value gap almost where the structure was from before. So, you know, again, we're probably going down again. You've held it for a long time. So you've seen the 120s before. I would think it's probably getting close to some type of bottom, but here now I don't like this either. So this looks to me like ABC 5. Yeah, I think if we don't, I think this whole area in here is structure. We should get a return to a high eventually, but you're gonna have to hold it an awful long time. And it looks to me like it's going lower. Okay, so I'll let you decide on what you want to do with that. But if I was trading this, I'd be out. All right, SEPN, okay, is a winner. Yes, that's from Al. All right, and Gene is saying thank you for the likes. Okay, yeah, and Tesla is a winner too. And I'll do a few more because we're trying to keep these things to half an hour. ExxonMobil for Al. I'm going to wrap it up with Al's stocks here, and then we'll be back next week and look at some more. All right, XOM, Mobile, short. Al is in a short mindset here. Okay, so at least this one hasn't gotten too far away, right? Let me just open up this chart here. So we've had a nice little rebound here. ABC did not break this area here. Let me just check where possible significant correction could go. So 90 down to 67. Got a bearish fair value gap here, Al. So that is okay. All right. So we're probably revisiting that now. All right. So they're going back and redelivering into that area there. And yeah, okay. So I could see a possible short there. And we've got a red PTF here. Got one here. All right, so here's the thing. All right, you got a red PTF here. So I think we're going lower than that low, and that's what, around 97.80, right? So we have liquidity here. I got to believe if it goes here, they're going to take liquidity out, but you could get a bounce after that. So I think a short makes sense for those more experienced. And I think probably if it takes that liquidity out, it may not be done. It may go into the target zone. So out of all of this one, this is the one that makes the best sense for a short. Okay. So yes. All right. And DJT, thinking about another short here. And not so crazy about this one for a short. I mean, it's just bouncing around. You can't even, get an Elliott wave count out of it that's really reliable. So no go in that. Okay, that's right now just a messy market. All right, and Janice, my pleasure. All right, guys, that's it. So let me just quickly recap what we have for the likes here. We got SEPN, Tesla, TSLA, NVIDIA, NVDA, and ExxonMobil for a short, but not for everybody. So really three. And the fact that some of those three are two major NASDAQ players makes me think, and we're expecting more highs, makes me think we're not yet in a major bear market. All right. And with that, I will leave you until next week. Have a great week. I'm going to jump over and do a little day trading on the NASDAQ and enjoy the hardest easy money one can make. And I'll see you next week. Thanks so much, everybody. Awesome job. Yes, on your picks. Awesome. And don't forget, give us a like. Helps the channel. See ya.